Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's Wednesday. Excuse me. And hey, Mom, how are you? Um, Hope everyone's had a good start to the early part of this week. Let me turn this light on. Boom, there we go. A little more light. All right. Let's see. We'll get more people in here. Want to do a pretty decent discussion about some things going on um, that we've discovered. So you don't want to miss this episode. Tommy, how are you? East Tennessee? Well, we are Western North Carolina, so East and West. There you go. Um, Welcome in. I- Tonight's going to be a fun, interesting, and serious discussion too. So we're going to have a little bit of everything going on. Uh, I know the notifications are a little slow about going out sometimes, so we're going to give it a few more minutes and hop into it. Hey, Vodka. Vodka was in our premiere last night and she watched it. She knows that a little bit about what we're going to be talking about tonight. And man, that if you didn't see the video, please go back to our last video that just went up last night. I got a part two coming this week and may try to put it up Friday. Um, it does take a little bit longer to get it to go through with my phone because I recorded it with the Ghost Vox tube app. And so, honestly, I'm going to try to work on to hopefully get it up Friday. Then we'll have a podcast Saturday too. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Helen's Bridge is just a place that I've always enjoyed um, going to. I did a actually. If y'all want to check it out anytime you want, I created a playlist last night that put all of Helen's Bridge videos in from the first to the most recent one, which was last night. So there's like 30, over 30 that I've done, and it's good stuff. Uh, never like I hear my sister going up the driveway. um, so she'll be joining us here in a few minutes too. I know Marnie's listening in, and so everybody is involved with this. My mom. So this whole our paranormal team, we for those who don't know, we are a team. I do the majority of filming. So me and Marnie are like lead investigators. I do the majority of filming and stuff. And then we all do research along with my mom and my sister. We all do history research, trying to see if we can come up with something. Sometimes we hit dead ends and roadblocks. Sometimes we get what we're getting like tonight. And I'm going to get into more of that here soon. But um, and I hope y'all are enjoying the podcast I'm doing on Saturday nights too. No, I'm not live, by the way. I meant to put that out there last week. I'm not live on those podcasts. They're pre-recorded. So basically, what I do is I record Friday night, and I'm like a week ahead. So this Saturday's video was last Friday's podcast when I recorded it. PPR, what is up? Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm a week ahead. If y'all have any suggestions for podcasts, and basically what I look for is paranormal, haunted, creepy, weird type stuff. And I've done several of those. Some here on the live streams and some on the podcast. But what I'm trying to do is, if we do any kind of stories here on the live stream, it's kind of very minimal. Whereas when I do a podcast, it'll be a little more lengthy and just right involved with that podcast. Um, and try to keep the live streams because here soon I'm going to be going back out to the shed occasionally, doing live streams and doing investigations with the dolls. I know a lot of y'all like that. So once I realize the bears are in hibernation, I'll definitely go back out there. We saw deer come down the driveway today. Went toward the road, and I said, "Oh Lord, please get back up here." There's one. There's a buck, so he's probably just wandering away from his mom now, and maybe trying to figure out his own place. Usually happens. Usually happens like that. Christy, how are you? Welcome in. Glad to have you all here. So we'll get in this discussion here in just. I want to give it probably about another 4 or 5 more minutes, and then we'll get into it. And I got a video to play that goes with it as well. Hopefully that'll work out good. I got that already. Yeah, I've already got it up on the share screen, so hopefully it'll play, and we'll talk about that. My favorite little pen here. I always have to keep something in my hands to keep busy. We're doing good, Christy. Glad you're here. Glad everybody's here. Um, if you have any questions about Helen's Bridge or anything, please let me know. Like I say, for those who are just coming in, I do have a complete playlist of Helen's Bridge now on our channel. So anytime you want to check them out, and you should be able to play the first video, which will be the one I did first up there 6 years ago, and it'll take you all the way through. You don't even have to, shouldn't have to click the next video. It should take you to the next one if you just want to watch them in order. And I probably will. I've got a ton of Riverside Cemetery videos, so if I ever put that in a playlist, I got to go through, and it would take some time. But 31 videos of Helen's Bridge is quite a bit in 6 years. And consider I've not been up there in about a year to film, probably a little more. Excuse me. So it's Hump Day. It's a middle of the week. Hope everyone had a good Halloween, by the way. Hope everyone enjoyed Halloween. We did. Grandkids, my niece and nephew, they had a blast. Dolls been acting. They've been. Let's see, Christy. I don't know if you've seen it lately, but we've added 2 new dolls, and they've been good. They it's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing evil, nothing demonic or anything. But there's some activities. I'm still getting some surveillance camera activities occasionally. It's just not popping right now a lot, but it seems like it kind of goes to those spells where it goes. You'll get several nights or several days and nights of things, and then it just calms down completely. Hey, sis. But right now it's not been too active. So did have the flashlight go off a couple times, and I do have a cat ball out there now too. So maybe they'll hit something. Maybe they'll do something. But I have done a couple investigations out there, and it's been pretty interesting the things I've been getting. And they've been lighting up REM pods and flashlights and all that stuff. Hey, bud, how are you? So, yep, we'll get back out there soon and do more investigations as soon as I'm sure the bears are good in a way. Yeah, grounded. Well, it's been they've been fairly active from time to time, and a lot of times I'll show you guys. You'll see like YouTube Shorts or TikTok Shorts if you follow us on TikTok. And occasionally, when those things happen, I go ahead and pop them up as a short video so y'all can see what's going on. But yeah, that's glad everybody's in here. Okay, so we're going to get into tonight's discussion about Helen's Bridge and some things we came across. So, um, if you've seen last night's video, it'll kind of make sense about what we're going to talk about. If you haven't, after this, please go check it out. Kind of give you a better idea. And then I got, like I said, an uncut version coming out that I use with the Ghost Tube Vox app, and that's going to be hopefully Friday. I want to work on that to get up on Friday. Yeah, so fast. Yeah. Um, but like I say, go check it out because it's going to make sense of what we're talking about tonight. So, um, we'll get into it now. It's been a few minutes. Goodness. Felt like someone's crawling on my face. Uh, let's see. Make sure I'm caught up on the chat. All right, real quick. Drink time. Okay. Now, so we got in the investigation last night, we had a name Ed come through. And I heard it, I think, once in that video and another time in that next video you'll see. So Ed became a situation while I was up there. It felt like I needed to investigate somebody named Ed, right? Also, through that, we got what sounded like gunshots going on through the spirit box, which is very unusual. And usually, a spirit box, you're getting the words. Sometimes you'll hear weird things come through. I got a hideous laugh when I was going through that too. So again, like I say, please go back and watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Also, without anything going, I heard what sounded like chains being drug across behind me across the bridge. And so when I did some research and I looked for a couple of things, and I kind of hit a roadblock. I couldn't find anything about Ed. So I sent it off to my sister, and she was able to do a little more deep dive into some things that she can look through. And she found a guy named Edward Foley that actually was the coachman at Helen's Bridge. Now that meant he did he rode the horse and buggy across the bridge back in the bridge was built in 1909, so around 1909 to 1910. And then after that, she lost track and couldn't find anything out from the census about him since then. So it's kind of like he was, yeah, it was rabbit holes, that's for sure. And if y'all have any questions, please let me know. But anyway, so he was a coachman. Now, where it gets a little stranger is that she was able to find some a let me see if I can find it. I'll have to go back over here. And so I'm not on screen, but I got my chat up so I can see you guys. There was, let's see. Where's my clips? Uh that's not it. Um nope. Why is it doing it? I have to go back. Anyway, there it is. Boom. I may be able to share screen this too. I'll have to look and see if it'll let me do that. I know it will on YouTube, but anyway, there was. Come on. Why is it not letting me do? Oh, there it goes. Okay. There was a death, and let me see if I can share screen that. Oh, took the other one off. That's all right. I'll have to reset it. No big deal. Um. Yeah, there we go. All right. So let me see if I can make that bigger. Okay. So hopefully you can follow along with me. Um, so what my sister came across was a guy. I think his last name is pronounced Monterey. Okay, so it was a guy named Monterey. That his last name was Monterey. So the tragic death of a Nashville young man occurred yesterday morning. This was in 1906. So this is before um, the 1909 and 10 census that she found Foley in. But it said a pistol found on the floor tells a story. Deceased had many friends in the city. he came here from England, so he was from England, by the way. His name was James H. Monterey. Um, and I hope y'all can see this good. Um, okay, I'm just checking the chat too. Sorry, guys. So it says that Monterey, who has been employed by Philip S. Henry, uh, he was the man who actually owned Zealandia before. I forget the other guy's name. Can't remember. Anyway, Henry's Sir Philip Henry is pretty well known in this area from owning Zealandia, and it says place at Beaumont Drive yesterday morning about 10:30 o'clock. You gotta love how they wrote back in the day. So at 10:30 o'clock, laying under his body was a 32 caliber pistol. The bullet which caused his death entered the right side of his head, about an inch above the ear, and wrangled upward and lodged in his brain. So I know that's pretty graphic, but that's what the newspaper is showing here. Then it talked about three different people that was in his room, in and out before his death. And then one of them was James Rogers, his friend and fellow employee, who left him only 20 minutes before, and a fellow named Hendricks. Um, I don't think I had a first name of Hendricks. The physicians were immediately notified, although they arrived within a few minutes. Death had already claimed the unfortunate young man. The sheriff was notified, excuse me, and the remains were taken to the undertaking establishment of Nolan Brown and Company. So they were the undertakers, or whatever you want to call them these days. Um, Paul was a Paul Bears, or not Paul Bears. God, well, whatever they were called back then. They were called the undertaking establishment, coroner's office, is what I'm trying to say. Um, Held an inquest late yesterday afternoon. The jury returned a verdict. Here's where something is very interesting too. We, the jury, find the deceased came to his death from a wound inflicted by a pistol of his own hand. So, in other words, the jury didn't find any of these three men um, capable of doing this. As they think he just murdered himself, or self-inflicted gunshot. And then it goes on. This is Rogers' testimony about it. Rogers testifies that it was a place on the witness stand. He testified and went on, said about Monterey and Foley. Foley, remember, is Edward, the name Ed I got through at the spirit box. About 10 o'clock yesterday morning, he said Foley went into the room which he occupied on the ground floor, accompanied by James Monterey, and that he, Rogers, went to his own room on the second floor, or to the second floor. He said that Hendricks came upstairs with him and they cleaned up the room. Mr. Rogers and Hendricks went downstairs about 10:30, and as they passed by Foley's door, he saw Monterey laying on the floor. Mr. Rogers rushed to him and saw a bullet hole in the deceased head. He realized what happened. He ran to the stable and found Foley, and returned and placed the dead man on the bed. Hendrick picked up the pistol from the floor. Rogers said that he did not hear the report of he didn't hear the pistol. He didn't hear the gunshot. Rogers stated that he had known the deceased for 2 years and had never heard him be in any trouble. Probably also makes me think too, was he depressed or something? Probably not. We'll get to that later. He said he knew of no reason why he should want to take his own life, as he has always been a cheerful disposition. And here's Edward's testimony. Edward Foley testified that he was in the room with Monterey and that he left a few minutes later. He went to the stable after he'd been there for about 30 minutes. Rogers came and told him about what happened. He and Rogers returned to the room and placed the man on the bed. Mr. Henry was Sir Henry, Philip Henry, was in Nashville at the time of the affair, and the news was a great shock to him as he was very fond of the deceased. And he said that he felt nearer to him than he did any man who had ever worked for him. He sent cablegram to the parents in England and so on and so forth. So that's what I've got, and I don't have the continuation, but we'll kind of stop there. And at any time, my sister can kind of add stuff in here as well that she needs to. I didn't get much further than that, but whatever I miss, she'll let us know. So let me hop back over to here and remove that. Now I gotta do the other screen. So hang tight just a second. Um, let me fix this where I need it to be because it went off, unfortunately. But anyway, we're going to get into something I heard. Where was it? About 10. Okay, that's a good place to start right there. All right. So this video that you're about to see was 4 years ago. And you'll hear something that I got 4 years ago. Hang tight. Let's see. Make sure this is going to work. It's up. Okay. Hope y'all can hear. You haven't given me a name. I need a name. I need to know who I'm talking to. Ed? I think I heard Ed. Okay, go with that. Okay, so that was 4 years ago when I got that. Take this back off. So 4 years ago, back before we were ever doing any deep dive investigations, I got the name Ed, and it was in this little area that is like a pull off in between the top and the bottom of the bridge. That's where I got the name Ed then. Let me go back to the chat real quick. Yeah, Christy. I'm trying to figure out. It didn't seem like the man was depressed. According to what Rogers said, right? Why would you shoot yourself? I mean, there's always a possibility that people are not showing the outward of what's going on inward, but possibly. Okay. He could have killed himself. Good chance. But remember, if I read it correctly, I believe he was in Foley's room. And he was favored by all, of all the people. Henry was favorable towards Monterey, right? All these men came over from England with Sir Henry, so work on the property. So yeah, this let's see. Yeah, this is before they helped build the bridge, if I'm not mistaken. Or was part of it or something. Anyway, they were stable hands. So he had a barn with horses, and they were stable hands. They were hands around the place, working, doing whatever, Um, so yeah, see, yeah, being honest, yeah. I mean, here's the only question I really have about this. Did the man really take his own life? Now, when I got Ed, was it Ed or was it maybe Monterey? Let me know that Ed maybe did something. I don't know. I do know that Monterey is buried at Riverside Cemetery. She did dig that up. And I got to figure out where he's at in there, and maybe I can do another investigation at Riverside. maybe be able to um, ask him if I can get him to come through. Um, I did get another thing I got up there, and I don't have the video up, but it was the Ghost Tool, the Blue Hand app. I got Gun. I got Gun up there one time. And yeah, it does make me wonder, Vok. It really does. It makes me think, is he trying to talk to me and let me know that he was murdered? Or was he trying to come through and say, yeah, I was really depressed. I took my own life. I mean, I don't know what it was, but it seemed like it's really suspicious that I keep getting Ed. And in a 4-year span, I'm getting these. And like I say, I have to go back and watch more of my Helen's Bridge videos to try to piece some things together. But to see if I missed anything, because like I say, back then I did not pay that great deal of attention to things as I should had. It was more like about any other investigator. You go, hey, we got something, yay, goodbye, and go check out another place. Now that we do these investigations a little more in depth, I have to go. Good, thank God that I'm able to go back and look at these videos and refresh my memory on some things because you do forget a lot in 6 years, especially when you're not really thinking about it. Also, in that video, a little bit later on, I hear "run." I don't know if that's related to like, is it Monterey telling me to run? Like, do you think maybe Ed's after me or something? I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing. But in that same video, that spirit box, you hear "run," and I mean, I'm like, you know, I obviously didn't freak out, but I was like took by surprise. And but yeah, in that same video you just watched there, I get that. Excuse me. Yeah, I got barn. Yeah, barn was another word I got. They said stable, but barn stable, same thing. The tapping on the metal was in a different video, but yeah, the guardrail. That was a little newer video, but it was interesting too what I was getting because I've been up there at that same time, and I just don't think it was the heat of the sun making that guardrail tap. I will say in last night's video too, I was doing a K2 session that never got recorded. You'll see in that video where the K2 for just a second, I talk about the camera went off. And I did ask if Ed maybe had turned it off. And I remember a little sinister voice, like laughter and stuff. I mean, it was real weird. And, but could he have turned it off? I don't know. Um, Again, yeah, the guardrail situation. When I went back up there, the film this video, that it didn't nothing that time either. No guardrail tapping or whatever it was going on. It was pretty calm with that, you know. Although I did hear that chain like it's being drug across the bridge. Now, could that have been like chains you would hear on a coach as the horses took it across? Possibly. That was something we talked about. So I don't know. There's a lot more questions than answers, but what I'm hoping to find out. I mean, if I can make contact with Monterey and he can confirm that he did it himself, then okay, then I'll just leave it alone. But now, if he says something else to that spirit box, like he didn't do it, then I want to dig in a whole lot deeper and try to figure out who did. There's at least 3 people right there that could have been involved in killing him. And remember whose room he was in. Yeah, it does sound like chains. Yeah, spirits will do stuff like that. Sometimes they do it just for, joking around, and sometimes they don't want you filming stuff. They don't want you to know things. So maybe, if it was him turning it off, thinking, well, if I turn it off, he can't do anything, he'll stop. I didn't stop. The thing was, and I'm mentioning that too, that I still had 3 out of 4 bars left on that camera. So I was still had it wasn't like the battery died. The battery was fine. It went on for, a while longer as I'm filming. That was like the early part of the video. So, and yes, spirits can drain your batteries on whatever it is you're using, but um, you know, that was a complete turnoff for me to still have 4 bars, right? So, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, Christy. I mean, it's one of those things where hopefully we can figure it out. Like I say, if I find that if Monterey comes through and confirms that he did it himself, there's nothing for me to say, you know. Then I got to think, why is Ed trying to contact me? Then I got to figure that out. But if he says that he did not do it, then that makes me think otherwise, and I need to go do more investigations. Yeah, they will. They'll do that. Spirits will do stuff. They'll really, some, like I say, joke and kid have a good time. Some are a little more mischievous and want to do things like that just to break something. But I guess I don't know. If anybody's got any questions about this video or what I'm talking about tonight, please let me know because, um, sis, did you go ahead and read that on page 4? Did you read any more of that? Because I didn't really. I ran out of time. I got so sleepy last night. It was making me sleepy reading. But I was trying to do that and piece together 2 videos that I remember. Um, the one that I remember gun, getting the word gun. So I was really diving in trying to remember which video that was. And yeah. So I definitely the videos I have to go back mainly and watch are the ones I've used Ghost Tool apps or Spirit boxes because I remember not really getting anything like that if we didn't have those things running. So let's see, just a little bit more about Monterey. That he was unmarried and a member of the Odd Fellows. Okay, well, wonder what the Odd Fellows were. Is like a little like the Masons or something, or some kind of little group, I guess. Either way, I I definitely want to. This is why I want to talk to y'all about this tonight. Face, how are you? Welcome in. This is like I say. This is why I want to bring this to the attention of everybody because maybe we're on the verge of solving a case that was stated to be one thing, and maybe it's really something else. Not that I can do anything with it. I mean, there's nothing I can do with it other than maybe try to confirm it and maybe put Monterey at peace. I think I'm saying his name right, Monterey. I think it's how you say his last name. But did Ed do it? Did James do it? Did Hendrix? Did somebody like that do it? Was it somebody else out of those guys that didn't? I mean, out of those guys, it could have been somebody else, but who knows? But it's like Roger said, he didn't see anything. Like nobody didn't. We didn't have enemies, and he didn't seem depressed or whatever. So it makes me think that you know, did somebody do it? Um, because back in those days, you're talking over 100 years ago, they didn't do a lot of deep diving, let's say, into things. They usually just took people at their word and kind of just, oh well, that's about the best we can do, you know, and that's all they did. And the jury found that they felt like from the testimonies that they got that that Monterey killed himself. So if I mean, again, if that's the case, but I still feel like there's more to it. Was it a Masons? Okay. Yeah, that sounds like something like a Masons or some kind of group like that. Society. Help people can help themselves. Or yeah, there you go. It's something like that. Makes me think of the Shriners almost, but in more of a different way of looking at it. But anyway, um, let's see. Like I said, I got gun in a video, which would make some sense now that didn't back then. Um, let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, like I say, he's buried. Monterey's buried at Riverside. I definitely will have to go to Riverside to see if I can make contact with them. There's a good chance that you can make contact in where they're buried. Um, and I'll definitely have to go back to Hill's Bridge, especially if I don't get anything at Riverside for sure. Something in that tree. There was a lot of stuff going on. I've had squirrels go on in that trees up there too. About freak you out. There were squirrels up there the other day when I was filming this, and it sounded like a bunch of bears and stuff running around up there. I mean, it was loud. Then I found it was squirrels, and I was like, okay, I'll go film. No big deal. But there's an area in that pathway that's opposite of the bridge, the side that I stay on and film. That's where I was kind of led to believe that's where the portal is to the bridge and why it's so haunted. Like there's a portal that's been opened. I don't know if it's been opened by something being moved or somebody was doing like Ouija boards or seances in that one area, and that's what opened a portal up. I don't really know. I do know it's haunted with a lot of different things besides Helen. And now this just takes a whole twist. And the thing of it is, too, people go up there and just think of Helen and that's it. And I'm always thinking outside the box as to what else might be going on. And I'm thankful that I do because this may help out. Um, Keeping up with the chat. Let me get a sip of water. So what happened was when we were trying to figure out about Ed, we were hitting a dead end until yesterday when some more stuff to that video helped my sister find some things and me kind of going back and looking at some more videos helped open up some things. Oh yeah, yeah. There's been a lot. And then she sent me a map. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Let me see if I can get it to come up. Let me clear off this and get the. Oh, there it goes. So she sent me some maps that she found. Um, where's it? There it is. Boom. Okay, so I don't know how well you all can see this. I'm going to turn it sideways. It'll work. Yeah, there it goes. So you kind of get an idea. I don't know. I hope y'all can see that. Let me see if I can make it. Um, that might help, I guess. Let's see. I hope. I don't know how good you can see that. Just wanting to blur. Anyway, there's like it's got. Come on. It's got a picture of Bowcatcher Gap, Zelandia Castle, and Beaumont. And Beaumont, um, let's see. I don't know how good you can see that. Anyway, you can't. I wish you could. But so here's the thing. Where Zelandia's castle is, there is a tunnel underneath it. The tunnel is what used to lead us from what is known as Tunnel Road into downtown Asheville. That was the only way to go. Then I think it was like 1979 or 80, maybe. Could be wrong. but they had a big open cut area that blasted part of that mountain. And I mean, a good part. I mean, you're talking about a big interstate being pulled both sides, going both directions, um, 4 or 5 lanes, all that stuff. And so all that was busted open. So that whole mountain is no longer connected. There is another castle that's on the other side of the road from Helen's Bridge. It's known as Seeley's Castle. I'll never be able to get in there. It is fenced off with razor wire and barbed wire. It's looks like Fort Knox almost. Although doll, not really had much happen with her too. They've all the dolls have been kind of quiet out there, so I've not really gotten any other things coming through. But all the dolls are still out in the shed with the surveillance cameras on them. So anything happens, I'll definitely let you guys know. Yeah, if you want to do that, you should. Yeah, you should be able to. See if you follow us on Facebook in the paranormal channel, she can put those there. Um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That it could have stirred up some stuff, and I think it was like 1979 or 80 or so when it was done. But it had been on construction. I mean, you're blasting constantly, and let me see. So the two castles, I want to say where it said Beaumont was probably near um, where Sealy's Castle is on the far side of Helen's Bridge, where that open cut is. But there was let me see. I gotta make it brighter so I can see now. Um, the, um, that's not the one I want to look at. This one. Um, it looked like that the stable would have been, um, let me look. There's Helen's Bridge. Um, okay, so the stable would have been, God, it's just hard if y'all didn't, I mean, y'all had to know what I'm talking about. But it was a pretty decent distance from the bridge, is where the stable was. So they had a little bit of a ways to go. But anyway, Death by Green Apple. Wow. Yeah, they put a lot. I mean, they put in obituaries and in newspapers back in the day. They reported whatever it was they heard. And okay, they're up. Okay, yeah. If y'all want to go to if you follow us on Facebook, let me hang on a minute. I'll put the link in here in just a second. Oh, there you go. Yeah, they put up pretty much anything that they were reported, and and I'll tell you another story too about. I know a lot of you guys have followed us long enough to remember the Dewey Rice. There we go. That should work. Okay, it's up. So if y'all want to click that link, you can go to our Facebook and join our page. Um, so Dewey, uh, back in that same time frame, he was murdered, and it was so many different. Could have been this person, could have been that person, could be his kids that shot him. I mean, he got shot. He was on one side of a river, and he got shot from the other side. So he was coming out of a meal, playing or whatever, and somebody way on the other side of the river shot him. So there's been things like there were two people bear hunting, there was couple people duck hunting, two young kids that had a gun, and I never have found anywhere where they really brought anybody to justice. So, but they reported that it happened at the mill, then it reported it happened down the road from the mill, and it just all these different things. So nothing was ever really confirmed. It sucks when you get that though. Yeah, Beaumont. That would have been right there in the. Is that what the open cut was? What open cut? Um, Hang on a minute. Yeah, Bowcatcher got Beaumont been across the way, which wouldn't have been far anyway. I mean, it's like a road that connected Beaumont to Zelandia Castle. So, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't have been too far away. An apple farm, but that's all they. Yeah, see, they didn't report everything back then. You can just click that link face on that I put up there. Just click that link and it'll take you straight to the paranormal page, and then I don't remember if I have to let you. I think I opened it back up, but I can't remember. I did have it to where I had to approve people coming in, but I think it's open to where you can do it. Yeah, you can just click on that page and it'll take you right to it. Yeah, and Christy, what helps us a lot of times is access to newspapers.com, Ancestry. There's all kinds of different resources like that. It could help you find anything you're looking for. But that's how we do it. I mean, we go through. I use the Find a Grave app. That sometimes will help. Um, it does help me, um, you know, know that if I get the name Charles and I find, there's a Charles in the cemetery and I'm like not far from it, at least that's always good. Riverside's hard. God, it's hard. But a lot of times, let's say 8 times out of 10 at Riverside, I'm not far from where the grave is when I get the name. Yep, no problem. But there was one I hadn't put the video up yet. Me and Marnie got a name, and I can't remember what the name was. We were in Riverside, and we were looking, and Marnie said it's right down here, and we were probably about 20 feet, even that from it. So the name of the person that came through, or their last name, was there. It blows my mind. I mean, like I said, I got the name Charles one time in Riverside, and I was like 2 feet from his headstone. But yeah, but the Find a Grave, is my voice for some reason. Um, and I've showed it, but I'll show it again what it is. Let me get it. Boop. Find a Grave. I don't know how good y'all can see that. Let me try to dim that light. Maybe that'll help. No, not too much. Oh, there it is. So it's Find a Grave, and you can look it up. So sometimes Find a Grave will have bios in it. Sometimes they don't. But if they don't, sometimes what I do is I'll send a picture, a screenshot to my sister, and um, there's a connection with that and the like the newspapers you can go through or Ancestry. Yeah, yeah, it does help. It's helpful. If I luck out and there's a bio, that helps me a whole lot. um, let's see. Do-do-do-do-do. So yeah, it's up that picture on Facebook if y'all want to see it. The one that's in a yellow looking picture, that's the one I'm talking about mostly about Zelandia Castle and Bowcatcher Gap, and then Beaumont. And it's known the tunnel is known as Bowcatcher Tunnel, and it's also known as Bonecatcher Mountain. It's used to have a theater named after it. It's pretty cool. Probably not. Sometimes I tell you, when you go back to the 1800s, it's even harder to find stuff. We've been able to come across some things sometimes, but um, you can find a lot more in the 1900s than you do the 1800s sometimes. Yeah. And even looking up Helen's Bridge in the newspapers is a little harder because when you do, a lot of times it talks about just hauntings up there, and it's yeah, that's about all you get. You have to put in like Zelandia Castle or things like that to get a little more. Yeah, it is. 1879. It might be hard. It could be hard. Oh, and another thing that we use too is, or she does, is the uh, Sanborn fire maps that shows um, where places were. And you know, I don't know how far. I forget how far they go back, but she helped me figure out something one time while I was getting chocolate and cupcake at the silos. Oddest thing in the world to get, and the darn thing, come to find out, there was a wholesale bakery place that was down there at one time too. Don't discount that ghost tool app. I remember I watched that video that I did, and I got gunned, and how I was really skeptical about it because it was like still brand new to me. And I've learned that ghost tool app has been one of the most reliable things I could use. Yeah, that too. But there's a lot of times you can find on those maps that you know where something was if you need to look for it. And this is a part of paranormal investigations I do encourage people to do. I know there's people who want to go investigate and it just, let's just see what we get and go on and don't worry about it. But if you really want to deep dive and being an investigator, not just a ghost hunter, the best thing to do is research. And I know it takes time and stuff, but I'm thinking maybe not right now, but maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now, when people go back and look at videos, they can say, wow, they uncovered this, they discovered that. Here's something that, the place that was haunted by this, but is also haunted by these things as well. It's always good. I always like watching videos where people do investigations and they are coming across things that even they didn't know about, and they're able to do research and tell people about it. So this is how I rewired, I guess you could say, our channel into a situation where um, we want to learn more. That's how we want to do it. Yep. Yeah, it does help. Yeah, Google can sometimes, but sometimes Google will put you in a rabbit hole you just can't get out of, and it's just no help. Find old newspapers in a museum. Yeah, some places do. I use newspapers.com. It's like uh, $80 a year, but you get access to everything. And you'll get an email when it says new newspapers have popped up or whatever, new clippings and new this or that. But it it's helped us out tremendously. 20 and 50 unknown, that makes it hard too. Yeah, when you go in the cemetery with the poplars, that's hard because you don't know if they're buried in there or not. Yep, I can't ever say that word. The societies are good too. Oh wow, that's what happened at Church Street. They moved a bunch of bodies to put them in Riverside Cemetery to build the street and churches and all that. But it's said that not all of them got moved, possibly. And I forget how many, like maybe 50 or so. And there's a nun that haunts that place that people have said they saw her, and they think it's a nun, just your basic everyday nun. And as she gets closer, she has no eyes, no mouth. It's just a weird look. I never encountered her in some of the investigations I've done there, but yeah, there's more than one account about that. And then one of them was a father and a son, and a little boy he had, and they poor kid had to encounter that. Yeah, they could have, Chrissy. They really could have. Um, Back then, a lot of times they didn't give a dang what they did with them. Some were more sensitive than others and try to help, but sometimes they didn't. And like I say, there were, I think on Church Street, I don't think all of them got moved. And even the high school that me and Marnie and my sister, my mom was there too. But anyway, the high school there, in that whole area where the middle school and high school is, there's an Indian burial ground, and that place is haunted. And from what I understand, they got all the graves out. From what I understand, but still, that it disturbed the ground when they did that. So it's known to be haunted. Creepy. Yep. Shady County. Yeah, Chris, you keep me updated on anything you come across. Anything that you want to share, you can do it on our live streams. You can type it in here and share it if you want or whatever. Just keep me up to date. Let me know what you come across. I'm all like I say, I love investigations, and one of them I don't watch many TV shows. I don't watch TV shows hardly at all. I hadn't really watched anything since the Flash went off there. But the only thing I really watch as far as paranormal goes is Ghost Hunters. That's it. The rest of them, some of the ones I used to watch are no longer on, but I don't care much for Ghost Adventures at all. But Ghost Hunters are really good, and they do that. They go in, they'll investigate a place, and they get the information from whoever owns it, whether it be a house or a building of some kind or whatever. And so they try to communicate with those spirits that they know of, and then they may catch some other stuff, and then go to see a historian and find out that this person died, that person died. This may be why you're getting Bill's name, or you know whatever. And so they're able to do more investigations with that because they got more information. So that's kind of like what we're doing, the best we can, just in a YouTube scale as opposed to a big TV scale. Yeah, I understand that. Foggy again. There we go. That's a little better. There we go. Camera usually does okay, but it'll get foggy. Yep, all those guys, man, they were good. There's channel on Roku you can go to. It's called the Ghost Hunters channel. It's like all their old stuff, and it's like 24/7. They play it all the time, and yeah, and it's free. It's free, part of the Roku app. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like when they are able to investigate some things and reopen stuff because you never know. You never know. And like I say, if I find that this Monterey guy was murdered, there's nothing I can really do with it other than to just let people know that this is what I got. It's not going to do me no good to go anywhere to authorities or anything. This is over 100 years ago, and I guarantee you every one of them's dead. So that was possibly involved in that. So, but the positive side of that is if I do get some information that shows that he was murdered, then at least I can start trying to hopefully prove to people that you can use paranormal to uh, maybe solve some things. It'd be great if we can use this to prove it. That'd be great. Or prove it. And I don't care what I prove it, whether it be he did it himself or somebody did it to him. At least I'll have the evidence to show and back all that up. All I had to do is just watch. I didn't think my lava lamp was ever going to start going. It's finally starting to move. It's been on like 2.5, 3 hours. Oh wow, yeah, that's not good. Some things that can reopen from way back in the day, and it can help. But in the case that we're doing, it's not going to do anything other than maybe just prove some stuff. That's all I can say, which is what I'm hoping it'll do. And I'm hoping there'll be more people that follow us in that type of situation and investigate like that because I tell you, I will definitely, definitely support their channel and their efforts in doing stuff like that. What I really want to do at some point in time is get a like uh, like a paranormal support team where you shout each other out and maybe get up on each other's live streams and talk about findings and things when you like do like a deep dive research into stuff and that would be that'd be pretty awesome. Well, Christy, I hope they find out something about that. Hope everything works out and uh, sometimes rehash and reopen things can help out, and I hope things work out in y'all's favor. But like I say, please keep me up to date if you want to message me or whatever. Let me know. Pray that it works out for you. Yep, old lava lamp's moving now. It's actually blue and like a well, it's supposed to be blue and pink, but it's blue and red. But you guys see it probably as like bluish purple, I guess, on the screen. I can see it on the bigger screen here. It shows it looks like purple and blue. I like this stuff down here so much. I'm keeping it up year round. Go foggy again. There we go. Maybe that'll fix it. There we go. Yep, research is very important. Yeah, I know. Sometimes things just brings closure to those who are still here, but that's good. Sometimes in the spirit world, they may understand a lot more than we think. That's why we gotta. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, there's a lot of them just want to say hi to you or want some kind of closure or something. So, Beaumont House that used to be across from Zelandia was torn down. They used all the materials to build the house that is now there, or there now. Yep, probably is. I wonder where that is exactly. It had to be over past the other side of that open cut, though. Hmm. Over, it's got to be over just before you get to Sealy's Castle. Let's see if I can find a picture of Sealy's Castle real quick. I'll show you guys that. Spelled it wrong. It's also known as Overlook Castle. Where is the images of these things? Um, mm, what's the best picture? Oh, there's an inside picture of it. Like I say, this Sealy's Castle, which God, that'd be what a blessing if they ever came to me and said, "You want to investigate it?" I wouldn't hesitate a doggone bit. Um, there's a lot of stories about that castle being uh place for like Nazi type stuff and all kinds of stories, weird stories behind it. Let me get a good picture of it. Um, that's probably. So can I get it bigger? Can I get this one to go bigger? No, okay, that'll work. Okay, hang on a second. Let me share screen that. Oh, took it off that other one. I don't know why it does that. Take your time. There you go. There's Sealy's Castle. Um, make it bigger. There you go. That's it. A good, decent picture of it. It's beautiful from just what the pictures I've seen. I believe somebody I used to went that I went to school with named Josh Warren. I think he investigated that place like back in the late '90s, maybe. Think he did. If it is, I have to go back and look at his video and see. But I hadn't talked to him in a long, long time. But anyway, so that's it. That's Sealy's Castle. Yep, looks real creepy. And the like I said, it's fenced off all the side that I can see. Fenced off real big, huge, tall fence with barbed wire and razor wire going around it. They don't want your ass in there. Carpetbagger tried to get in there. Some of y'all may know who that is. YouTuber. He just went down there just to film it from the bottom of the road, and they had a guy come down and chase him off. I'd love to check it out, but if I had money, I'd buy it. If they let me buy it, turn it into a haunted museum. That place would be a cool haunted museum. Yep, I'd love to go there too. It'd be if I could own that place, I would definitely open it up to paranormal investigations and turn it into a museum. That'd be the thing I would do. Yeah, that'd be cool. Um, Spotted Ghost was doing one live stream. Was it yesterday? I think he was near one. And there's a new show, and I don't know it real well. I think it's like Ghost. Was it Ghost Hunting Ireland or something like that, where they go into castles? I've seen one episode, so I'll kind of take it with a grain of salt until I can figure out more about them. But the first episode was pretty good. They got some really interesting things come through. Yeah, it's got the whole series, I guess, on Discovery app. So if y'all got Discovery Plus, or I think it's the name of it, that's where I saw it, and it was I can't remember the name of the castle though. Man, that would have been cool to any castle would be cool to investigate. In the UK, you all got castles all over the place over there. We unfortunately do not. Biltmore State's considered a castle too in some people's mind. Um, Love to do that, but they're not going to let you do that in there. And if you saw my story about the Pink Lady, the Grove Park Inn, I don't think they really want you to do that place anymore. Not that it's a castle, but there is a place near it though that kind of looks like a castle. They used to do our local news channel out of it. They say it's very haunted. I don't know who owns it now. If the station's still on it, I probably would try to get in touch with them and say, "Hey, how would you guys like to let me check this out?" But again, I don't know who owns it. So, but the interesting thing about that Pink Lady that I was talking about Saturday was my friend Matt and his team went in there to investigate. They were kind of just Scooby Dooing it a little bit because they didn't really know much about paranormal, or at least he didn't. Um, and his team was, I guess, still kind of new at doing it or whatever. And he said, we'll probably get a pink lady, but what else? But they got several things, including that the fact that F. Scott Fitzgerald may have killed her. Can't confirm that, but that's what I was told and what he got, and that's all I can relate to you guys. But you hadn't seen it go back. It was last Saturday's podcast. Golly, could you imagine? So, anybody else got any questions about Helen's Bridge? If you do, comment. Let me know. I'll get ready to shut it down here in a few minutes. Um, Definitely appreciate everybody being here tonight. Um, and everybody giving insight to their own experiences and things like that, and shouting us out and sharing us out. I do appreciate it, Vodka, everybody, for doing that. But I will definitely keep you all up to date on this whole Ed situation, Edward and Monterey and Rogers. I don't know really um, what happened to Edward. Uh, I don't know. I don't know where if he died here, is he buried here, is he did he move on? And I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Keep looking. Let me know because I tried to check the cemetery yet, but I wasn't coming up with anything as far as Edward or Rogers or any of those guys went. So I don't know. I don't know if we can find it. If that maybe they're buried at Riverside too or something. Who knows? But anyway. Oh yeah. Thank you, Vodka again. So part two of that Helen's Bridge, I want to try to get it to go up on Friday night. May do it on as a premiere again, like we did last night. And as long as I get it up in time I may try tomorrow to get it going. Because the thing is, when you're putting a video up, or at least for me, I don't know how certain phones are, but mine is. I have to keep it on YouTube and let it stay open and not let the phone go black and the blackout. So I have to do that. So it does take some time. Unlike doing it on the laptop, which is just get it going and walk away and let it do itself. I could have went back to England. Yeah, there could be some jealousy there too. I mean, think about it. Monterey was Henry's favorite. It could have been anything. And again, like the thing said, I'm pretty sure I read that correctly, where they found him in Foley's room. Let me make sure I read that right. It said Mr. Rogers and Hendricks went downstairs about 10:30, and as they passed Foley's door, he saw Monterey laying on the floor. So it was in Foley's room. Oh yeah, Voc, I know you will. I know you'll catch up. I do appreciate it. Christy, I know. Yeah, Christy, again, keep me up to date on your situation. Oh shoot. They may have shared a room. It said Foley's door. Oh, my pen went. Oh well. So I don't know if they shared a room or if it may be like room next to each other or across from each. I don't know. Um, Either way, though, he specifically said Foley's door. So we'll leave it there because I don't know. And if we can come across any more news articles about it, because they're like Dewey's. Golly, there's several news articles and they're all different. Or they're all kind of the same with a little bit of difference here. And it's, I don't know. Dewey died at now, wait a minute now. So like one paper I think stated that Dewey died on the way to the hospital. And the other one said he died at the hospital. I think's how it was. I think it was Dewey's I'm thinking of. But again, yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean they could have been sharing a room, possibility. I don't know, but it's just odd how he would have said Foley's door instead of saying Monterey's door, like his room. Like I passed by Monterey's room and there he was on the floor. But did the rooms like conjoin together, kinda or something? And then Foley had like part of this room, and maybe another little area went to Monterey's room. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that house was set up, so hard to tell. But I thought it was interesting. Said it was Foley's door. So I wanted to go back and see, and like I said too, I don't know if it's Ed saying his own name or if Monterey was saying Ed's name and trying to let me know about him or what. I mean, there's so many possibilities now at this point, right? Like a dormitory, yeah, maybe like what's that called? Oh God, Marnie's talked about them before when she was in college. Sweet mates. Is that what it is? Something like that. Something like that type of a thing, I guess. Could have been. It was an inn. Was it an inn when they were there, or did it become an inn before or after that? They could have had conjoined rooms. I mean, the rooms could have been like maybe just a small divide between them, possibly. I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever know that 100%. But if there's any more newspaper clippings, then that'd be good. And I'll definitely do another live stream as soon as we come up with more stuff to keep you all informed. And like I say, hopefully, 10, 20 years from now, people can go back and watch these and um, maybe they can add stuff to it. Who knows? Technology will grow long after we're all gone. Yeah. So there's a good chance it could have been like a conjoined room or something. I'm trying to think of like, you may have like two rooms together, and what divides them is a bathroom and maybe a kitchen or something like that. And you have a door on each of the rooms that leads out into like a hallway or something. But what divides them only is a kitchen and a bath or something like that. So that is something that maybe you know maybe that could be the case. Thank you, Vodka. Um, oh really? Oh, we need a deep dive into that because it may. Did you see any pictures? and what they might look like? Workers' housings. So maybe they were like in the bottom of the inn, basement area or something. Makes me think if you're going to live there and work and do all that stuff, you may have like you're going to have an off place somewhere to where you're not going to be living where people are renting rooms and stuff. So, fire there, but I can't confirm it. I don't remember doing any investigations of a fire being involved, but I got to go deep dive more into the videos. May have, you never know. Excuse me. Getting late. So you think there was fire at the end, maybe, or right near it, or something? I guess. I don't know what that means exactly. Oh, okay. I got my phone on silent, so I don't hear it buzz. Oh, okay. So that was the end. It's a nice picture of a bunch of trees in front of it. Let me hang on just a second. Let me go. Come on. There you go. I don't know if y'all can see it good or not either, but um, if I turn it sideways, sometimes that helps. It's just kind of a blurry picture, but that's the end picture she just sent me. Um, well, that might be a little better. So it looked like that. That'd been a heck of a place to explore. For some reason, that looks familiar. Some reason that looks familiar. I don't know why. Maybe it's something me and Marty looked up years ago or something. God, for some reason, that just looks so familiar. Anyway, so yeah. Well, we'll have to, like I say, do more deep diving into stuff, and I want to go back and research some more of my old videos and see if I can find another clue. Uh, so with two videos, been able to find two clues. So Thomas Wolfe. Wow, was that in a thing he wrote in a book, or is that like in a newspaper statement or something? Because "Look Homeward, Angel" is um based on our area here. Just he changed the words, names and stuff. So if you ever, I hadn't read it in years and years, but if you ever read "Look Homeward, Angel," it's mentions his time here. Well, he was from here, but the angel, there was an angel that was. It's now at a cemetery in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and the statue, if I'm not mistaken, the same one. It was out in front of what's called the Jackson Building, where his dad worked, where Thomas's dad worked. And that's where he got the inspiration to write the book. Hmm. How interesting! How interesting! Another photo popped up. Okay, so it's from his book. Okay. Burning of horses. John of the words, the burning of horses, referring to a fire that had consumed the stables at Beaumont Lodge on Bowcatcher Mountain. Beaumont Lodge advertised itself in the early 1900s as being located at Beaumont Mountain and being conducted by Temple, Miss Temp, sorry, Temp Harris. Previously, the lodge was okay. Wow. So he was referring to it from his book, but a lot of things that he referred to in his book was actual stuff. He just changed names and stuff, so he didn't have to deal with that. Whatever. Um, People wanting money from for using their name. Wow. Okay. Well, there's that, guys. Like I say, I want to hop off here though. I'm getting really sleepy. But I will definitely keep you all up to date. I may even start going live on X, Twitter, or whatever occasionally. Like I didn't go live today, but I did put a video up talking about tonight's video. But I may go put up some videos or go live occasionally just to kind of keep you all updated and do more of these live streams so you all will know what's going on. And if I come across anything that you know gives me a hint of who did it or if he did it himself, I'll let you all know. Okay. But I want to hop off here and I hope you all have a good night. Until next time, God bless. See you soon.